Hello students, welcome to Veda Gate Academy. This is Shivram, completed MTech from IIT Bombay, having 10 years experience in handling gate and engineering services. So in this session, we are going to discuss about one of the important concept of control systems, that is accuracy. Now in this session, I would like to discuss about how to make a comment on accuracy of any system, and we will try to see some few questions based on the discussion that what we are going to make. So now if you are taking the accuracy, so generally whenever if I am using the term accuracy, what is the meaning of accurate system, or what is the meaning of inaccurate system? Whenever if I want to say my system to be accurate, okay, then if the actual output of the system is tracking the reference input signal, again I am repeating, if the actual output of the system is tracking the reference input signal during steady state period, then I can say my system should be accurate, otherwise the system is inaccurate. The simple example is, for suppose if I am increasing the accelerator, okay, of a bike, I want to control the speed of a vehicle at some 40 kmph. Okay, so for suppose, as I said, if I want to control the speed of a vehicle at some 40 kmph, so this 40 kmph I can treat it as a reference input. Now the moment if I switch on the engine, and if I try to start increasing the accelerator, then what will happen? My bike will pick up its speed, right? So I can say that my bike cannot able to instantaneously reaches to 40 kmph. So it will take some transient period, and once if the transients are disappear, it will reaches to steady state response, right? So that means always if you want to make a comment on accuracy of any system, you need to see the response behavior during steady state period. For suppose, let us assume that the speed of the bike is gradually exponentially increasing, and finally it may reaches to exactly 40 kmph, or it may not reaches to exactly 40 kmph. For suppose if the speed of the bike, okay, I am taking a very simple example, okay, so let us assume that instead of reaching to 40 kmph, if it is reaching to 35 kmph, and if it is maintaining the same speed, then can I say, is it my accurate system? No. According to my control objective, I want to control the speed of the vehicle exactly at 40 kmph. For that, okay, for a predefined position of the accelerator, okay, for a predefined position of the accelerator, if I raise the accelerator to a predefined position, and instead of the bike is reaching to 40, if it is reaching to 35, then there is a deviation between my reference input and actual output, and this deviation you have to see only during steady state period. We will try to see more about the information of transient and steady state responses over the period. So here what I would like to say is, if you can able to compare the reference input and actual output of the system during steady state period, and if there is any deviation between this reference input and actual output of the system during steady state, then I can say my system is inaccurate. Okay, otherwise, for suppose if the same vehicle, the moment if I increase the accelerator to a predefined position, and if the vehicle speed is gradually increasing, and finally during steady state period, if it is exactly reaching to 40 kmph, I can say that there is no deviation between the reference input and actual output during steady state period. During steady state period, then we can say the corresponding system with respect to that control objective and with respect to that reference input is called accurate system. Are you following? So the please make a note of that point. The definition of when we can say the system is accurate or inaccurate is whenever if the actual output of the system is tracking the reference input signal during steady state period, then we can say the given system is accurate. To measure the accuracy of any system, we are going to use one parameter called steady state error. The steady state error is used to determine or measure the accuracy of any system. To measure the accuracy of any system, we are going to use a concept called steady state error. So by the way, what is the meaning or definition of error? So the definition of error, okay, we are going to use the notation E of t to represent error. It is the difference or comparison between reference input and actual output. Okay, it is the difference or comparison between reference input and actual output. Difference between reference input and actual output. Generally, in our control system terminology, always reference input in time domain we are going to represent with R of t, and actual output in time domain we are going to represent with C of t. So the error signal E of t will be represented in this fashion. Now, what is the meaning of steady state error? We need to calculate this error value during which period? Steady state, because error means deviation between reference input and actual output, and that may be at any instant of time. It may be 0th instant or 0.1 or 0.2 or 1 or 10 seconds. But what is the meaning of steady state error? I need to bother about the error signal during steady state period. Okay, so that means the meaning of steady state error ESS, we are representing steady state error with a notation called E subscript SS to represent steady state error. We need to determine the error value during steady state period. So during steady state period means mathematically we can say as time becomes very large. Mathematically time becomes very large means we can represent with limit t tends to infinity. We need to compare the reference input and actual output. That means we need to calculate the value of error signal as t tends to infinity. So that means if I am substituting over here limit t tends to infinity, E of t is nothing but R of t minus C of t. So this is the formula for what, guys? Steady state error. So if you observe clearly this particular formula, if you all of you please focus on this one, if you please focus on this one. So if you see the steady state error is equal to limit t tends to infinity E of t. That means indirectly, am I determining final value of the error signal? Yes, I am determining the final. From this one, I can say I am determining the final value of error signal. Okay, if you can able to determine the final value of error signal, that is nothing but my steady state error. By the way, why we are using this particular steady state error to measure the accuracy here? When we can say after determining the steady state error, when we can say my system is accurate and when we can say my system is inaccurate. In order to say that, okay, for suppose whenever if I am getting after calculating steady state error, if I am getting steady state error value as 0, then what is the meaning of that? The steady state error value 0 is nothing but I can say indirectly my actual output is tracking the reference input signal during steady state period. Then only I can get steady state error value 0. So the conclusion is if steady state error is 0, I can say my system is accurate system with respect to that reference input signal. Whereas if the steady state error value after calculating if you are getting not equal to 0, I can say my system is inaccurate system. That means my actual output is not exactly tracking the reference input signal during steady state period. So I can say it is inaccurate system. So now how to improve the accuracy? For suppose, okay, for a particular system, if I am getting steady state error as 20, what is the meaning of that? There is a deviation between actual output and reference input in steady state, and what is that value? 20. Now if you want to improve the accuracy, if I want to improve the accuracy, what I have to do? I need to reduce the error between those two. That means instead of 20, somehow if I can able to get the difference between actual output and reference input in steady state period as 10, then can I say compared to 20 with 10, I am getting somewhat more accurate. I cannot say it is exactly accurate, but I am indirectly improving the accuracy. That means in order to improve the accuracy of any system, what I have to do, guys? I need to reduce the steady state error. This is very, very important point you have to remember. To improve the accuracy of any system, to improve accuracy of any system, what I have to do? We need to reduce the steady state error. Okay, we need to reduce the steady state error. Now, let me come back to this particular formula. Here, we are determining steady state error using final value. Okay, so if you observe here, this E of t is in time domain. So, can I apply final value theorem to write the same expression in S domain? Yes, we can able to use final value theorem. So, now according to the final value theorem, so if I am trying to again write the same thing, okay, so here the steady state error formula in time domain is limit t tends to infinity error signal E of t. Yes or no? Right? So the same thing with the help of final value theorem. Using final value theorem, the equivalent expression for determining the steady state error in S domain, what you are going to get, guys? Already we know that the final value theorem is limit s tends to 0 s into, here the function is E of t. So in S domain you are going to get E of s. So this is the basic fundamental formula of calculating steady state error of any system. And what is the purpose of steady state error? To make a comment on one of the performance factor called accuracy. Now let us try to see here. I am restricting this discussion in this session to only steady state errors of unity feedback systems. If you are considering a unity feedback system, let us assume this is my unity standard block diagram of unity feedback system. This is my reference input R of s, and here you will have a forward path transfer function G of s, and after that from this one you will have a output C of s. And as I said, we are restricting our discussion to unity feedback system. This is my unity feedback system. Now where I will get error signal, guys? Where I will get error signal? If you see what is the signal that will be available here, C of s, the same signal C of s will be also occurred over here, right? Now can you tell me what is the output of the summing point? I can say the output of summing point is nothing but R of s minus C of s. This R of s minus C of s can I say as error signal? Because already we know that error is nothing but in time domain reference input minus actual output, comparison between reference input and actual output. So this is my error signal what I am going to get. Yes or no? right? So this is my error signal. Now I need to calculate error signal. How to calculate error signal in terms of reference input? Let me try to apply Mason's gain formula. Okay, we already know about how to apply Mason's gain formula. So here I need to determine the transfer function between E and R. So how many forward paths are there? Only one forward path. What is the gain? You are going to have 1 P1 into some delta 1 divided by delta. How many loops are there in the given diagram, guys? If you clearly see the number of loops, if you start from here, I can move in this way and I can come back to the same point where I have started in this fashion. So how many loops are there? Only one loop. What is the gain? G, and there is a minus sign. You are going to get 1 plus G of S. Okay. And for this particular forward path, this loop is touching, so you will get delta 1 equal to 1. So that means the point what I would like to convey here is the ratio of E of S by R of S, what you are going to get here. So the ratio of E of S by R of S, if I try to write, so you are going to get E of S by R of S equal to 1 by 1 plus G of S. This is the expression what you are going to get, right? Now you can take R of S to the right hand side and substitute in this formula, then you will get steady state error for unity feedback systems. Can you tell me what is the steady state error for unity feedback system? By seeing this formula, we are going to get limit S tends to 0, S into E of S. In place of E of S, I can able to write as R of S divided by 1 plus G of S. So this is one of the fundamental basic formula for determining steady state error of what? Unity feedback systems. Okay. Generally, there is one interview question which was faced by one of my student in IIT Delhi. So he appeared for the IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, okay, for higher education. So the simple question what they are asking is, can we able to determine the steady state error by applying impulse input? No. The reason, the explanation what he has given is, here what we have to do, we need to compare the reference input and actual output during which period, guys? During steady state period. But we know the property of impulse signal. Impulse signal generally existed only at time t equal to 0, right? So thus impulse signal is existed only at time t equal to 0, whose strength is approaching towards infinity. Am I correct or not? But what I have to do, I need to compare this reference input with corresponding output during which period? As t tends to infinity. But my impulse signal does not exist as t tends to infinity, right? So that is the reason. The important point you have to remember here is the steady state error analysis is not applicable for impulse signal. That means I cannot able to make a comment on accuracy of a system by applying impulse as standard test input signal. Are you following what I am saying? So with the help of impulse signal, I cannot able to say whether the system is accurate with respect to impulse signal or not. So that is the reason the remaining 3 standard test input signals, what we know is step, ramp and parabolic. If you observe step, ramp and parabolic, they are going to be existed throughout the time from 0 to infinity. So I can comfortably compare my actual output with the corresponding input as t tends to infinity. So I can able to make a comment on steady state error so that I can get accuracy of the system. Yes or no, right? So the steady state error analysis is not applicable for impulse signal. This is very, very important point you have to remember, right? Now we know there are some shortcuts are there, okay, which are used to make a comment on accuracy of the system. Let me try to write those things, okay? So generally, if I am having a step input, I am going to give the number for 0 for step input, 1 for ramp input, and 2 for parabolic input. Okay, so during the regular classes we will try to understand why I am giving these numbers. Generally there is one shortcut method is there. There is no need of following the conventional method of solving the questions. Okay, so one shortcut method is there. So that shortcut is whenever if the type of the system is greater than input number. Here the input number is nothing but for step what is the input number 0, for ramp how much is the input number 1, and for parabolic input number is 2. So whenever if the type of the system is greater than input number, always the steady state error you are going to get 0. So there is no need of applying the formulas at all. So what you will do, simply identify the type of the system and input number, and based on those 2 things you can make a comment on steady state error. Whereas whenever if the type of the system is exactly equal to the input number, then you are going to get finite value for the steady state error. We'll see what is the formula you have to use to determine this finite value now. Okay, and whereas the last probability or possible case is if the type of the system is less than input number. If the type of the system is less than input number, in that case steady state error becomes you are going to get infinity. If you can able to remember this particular observation, then there is no need of approaching the conventional procedure. There is no need of approaching the conventional procedure at all. Okay, so I will tell you, right? By the way, before going to discuss the problems, I would like to quickly tell you what is the definition of type. The definition of type is the maximum power of S, or so the number of poles. I will tell you in the other way. So the definition of type is the number of poles of loop transfer function which are located at origin will decide the type of a system. Again, I am repeating, the number of poles of loop transfer function which are located at origin will decide the type of a system, and that is applicable for unity feedback. Okay, so later we will try to discuss about more concepts, right? So I hope we have understand. So the number of poles which are located at origin of a loop transfer function will decide the type of a system. So once if you know the type and input number, then I will get steady state error. For suppose, if I am giving some example in this fashion, let us see the example g of s. Okay, g of s is equal to 4 divided by s square into s plus 4. Now can you tell me what is the type of the system, guys? So the type of the system is nothing but number of poles of the loop transfer function which are located at origin. Now can you tell me how many poles are located at origin in this example? I can say there are 2 poles which are located at origin. So can you tell me what is the type of the system? I can say it is type 2. 2 poles are located at origin, it is type 2. For the same system, let me try to give some observations with this table. Now for same system, if I apply a step input, how much steady state error you will get? How much steady state error you will get? For what is the type 2? Input number, what I have mentioned, step. For step, what is the number for step input? 0. Can I say 2 is greater than 0 or less than 0? 2 is greater than 0. If 2 is greater than 0, type is greater than input, how much steady state error you will get, guys? 0. Now, for suppose for the same system, if I apply a ramp input, how much steady state error you are going to get? Can you tell me what is the type of the system here? 2. And what is the input number for ramp? Input number for ramp is 1. Can I say 2 is greater than 1 or less than 1? 2 is greater than 1. If type is greater than input, how much again steady state error you will get? 0. For suppose for the same system, if I apply a parabolic input, can you tell me what is the type of the system here? 2. What is the input number I am having? Input number, parabolic. For a parabolic, what is the input number? 2. Can I say type is exactly equal to input number? Yes. If type is exactly equal to input number, you will get finite value of steady state error. For suppose in the same question, instead of, instead of s square, if I am giving s power 1, then in that case, what is the type of the system? 1. If the type of the system is equal to 1, then can you tell me for the same system whose type is 1, if I apply parabolic input, how much steady state error you will get? For this type 1, if I apply parabolic input, can I say type is less than input number or greater than input number? I can say my type is 1 whose value is less compared to the input number, because for parabolic input number is 2. So my type is less than input. So for the same this type 1 system, if I apply parabolic input, how much steady state error you will get? Infinity. So the point what I would like to convey from this discussion is, whenever while solving any question related to steady state error, you simply see whether the type of the system is less than input number or greater than input number or equal to input number. When we have to put our pen on the paper, if type is exactly equal to input number, then only we have to put our pen on the paper to solve the question. Whereas if the type is greater than input number or less than input number, simply I will get 0 or infinity. Now, how to determine the steady state error if type is equal to input number and what is that finite value, how to calculate? For that, we are having some standard formulas. Here I am not going to discuss those things. Right, sorry. Yeah, let me move these things. Yes, so or else, yeah, this is the formula, right? So let me compress this. Yes. Yeah. So now, if I want to determine the steady state error with the different inputs, so the formula for steady state error for step input, if type is exactly equal to input number, I will get a finite value. To determine that finite value, the formula is you are going to get 1 by 1 plus kp. Or the general formula is a by 1 plus kp, where a is magnitude of step input and kp here is called as positional error constant, and the formula for positional error constant is limit s tends to 0 g of s. Similarly, the steady state error for ramp input is you are going to get a by kv, where a is called magnitude of the ramp input and kv is called as velocity error constant, and the formula for velocity error constant is limit s tends to 0 s square into g of s. Whereas the last one is the steady state error for parabolic input. The steady state error for parabolic input is equal to a by ka, where a is called magnitude of parabolic input and ka is called acceleration error constant. So the formula, this is not s square and this is s. So let me remove this. So this is limit s tends to 0, s square into g of s. So if you can able to remember these formulas, in the regular classes we will try to derive even these formulas also, okay? So you can try to remember these things. So if you can able to remember these set of formulas, then it is very easy to solve any kind of question. Now the last important point what I would like to stress here is, here how we have arrived this formula, guys, s into e of s with the help of final value theorem. And we know there is a limitation is there for final value theorem. Can you tell me what is that limitation, guys? What is that limitation of applying final value theorem? There is one standard limitation is there. The final value theorem is applicable only if the roots of s into f of s lies in the left hand side of s plane. Okay? Or we can say this, since we are using final value theorem to determine the steady state error in S domain, whatever the limitation of this final value theorem is also applicable to this system. Here, am I considering open loop system or closed loop system? Always we have to consider closed loop. Why? Because while determining accuracy, I am comparing my reference input with the actual output. If at all, if you want to compare the reference input and actual output, there should be a feedback. If there is a feedback, that is becomes a closed loop system. So the very important point you have to remember, you can keep 3 stars and make a note of this point. So the very important point you have to remember here is, this steady state error analysis formulas are derived based on final value. Whatever that limitation is also applicable for the steady state errors. That means the steady state error analysis concept, please make a note of this point. This is keep 3 stars and please make a note of this point. The steady state error analysis is applicable only for closed loop stable systems. Only for closed loop stable systems. The steady state error analysis concept is applicable only for closed loop stable systems. You must have to remember this particular limitation of steady state error analysis. Otherwise, you may made some mistakes while solving the questions. So this is about the brief idea about the steady state errors. Now we'll try to solve 2 or 3 questions, previous gate questions, and you can able to get some idea where we are going to make a mistake. Let me try to see. Okay, so this is first question. First I will try to read the question. The open loop transfer function of unity feedback system is s plus 2 divided by 2s plus 3. Determine the steady state error with input 3 into e of t. Here if you observe, here they have given open loop transfer function g of s equal to s plus 2 divided by 2s plus 7. What is the first step, guys? While solving this one, you need to identify the type of the system. How many poles are there at origin for this loop transfer function? There are no poles at origin. I can write this one as s power 0. Yes or no? So what is the type of the system, guys? Type 0. And what kind of input they have given? The input is 3 into e of t. Okay, that means step input with magnitude a equal to 3. So what is the number for step input, guys? 0. Whose magnitude of the step input is equal to how much? 3. We are using a to represent the magnitude of the corresponding input, right? So here type is equal to input number. Whenever if the type is equal to input number, then you will get finite steady state error. How to determine that finite steady state error for step input? We have to use a by 1 plus kp is the formula. What we have to use? And what is the formula for kp? Limit s tends to 0, the given g of s. So what I have to do? Simply replace s with 0 in g of s. If you replace s with 0, you are going to get 2 by 7. Substituting this formula, a value is how much? 3 divided by 1 plus 2 by 7. Okay, so if you do the simplification, you will get the answer. And this particular question I can able to frame as a multiple choice questions by giving 4 options for k value, for this steady state error, or else I can even frame the same question as a numerical answer question by fill in the blank, because it is a numeric value, right? So after solving 3 plus 1 plus 3 divided by 1 plus 2 by 7, I will get some numerical value. So I can able to frame any kind of thing. Even I can frame the same question even as a MSQ, multiple selective questions, without giving this. Okay, so what I will do is, for the following system, the steady state error with this input is so and so. Okay, or else I will frame the second option as the positional error constant is 2 by 7, velocity error constant is 0. Likewise, I will frame 4 options. Out of those 4 options, I may frame 2 options may be correct, 2 options may be wrong, or 3 options may be correct, 1 option may be wrong. Okay, so I can able to play around this particular question according to my convenient. Are you following what I am saying? So this is the best way of solving the question. Now I will try to move on to the next question, which is very interesting. Now they have given this block diagram and they ask you to determine steady state error with input 2 plus 3t plus 7t square. Now generally, if you observe here, by seeing this particular reference input, most of the students they feel that it is a very lengthy question, I cannot able to solve, but it is wrong. Actually, whenever if you are finding any question related to steady state error, the first step is determine the type of the system. Now can you tell me what is the type of this system? There are two poles which are located at origin. So I can say it is type 2 system, right? Now come to this input. If you observe here, there are total a linear combination of three inputs are there, right? So here if you observe here, this is clearly 2 times u of t. I have excluded u of t. This is 3t. This is 7t square. Now what I will do is, instead of applying these three inputs at a time, I will apply a single input to this system, and I will try to determine the steady state error alone for this input, alone for this input, alone for this input. And after that I will add those three according to superposition, right? So if I try to apply this input alone, can I say what is this input 2? It is nothing but a step input whose number is 0. And what is the magnitude of the step input? A is equal to 2. Now I can try to compare. What is the type of this system? 2. Input number is how much? 0. Type is greater than input number or less than input number? Type is greater than input number. As type is greater than input number, how much steady state error you are going to get, guys? 0. That means if I alone apply this input 2 for this system, how much steady state error I will get? 0. Now I will try to alone apply this input 3t. Okay, it is in the form of ramp, right? So I can say it is a ramp input, number is 1. And what is the magnitude of ramp input? 3. Because ramp input standard form is at into u of t, right? So here a equal to 3. Here again if you compare, type is 2, input number is 1. Type is greater than input number. As type is greater than input number, how much steady state error again you are going to get, guys? 0. That means if I apply alone this 3t to this system, how much error I am getting? 0. Let me try to apply finally this one. If I try to finally apply this one, okay, so what is this input? This is a parabolic input. Can you tell me what is the value of a here? What is the standard format of parabolic input? The standard format of parabolic input is at square divided by 2. This is very, very important. This is the place where most of the students, they are going to make a mistake. Okay, so is it in the form of at square by 2? No. Okay, so that means what I will do, I will divide with 2 and multiply with 2. If I do that process, can you tell me now what is the value of a, guys? It is not 7. It is equal to 14. This is the point you have to understand, right? So if I get this information now, since here type is 2, input number is 2, I will get a finite value. So in order to determine that, what is the formula I have to use? A by Ka. And what is the formula for Ka, guys? Already we know that the formula for Ka is limit s tends to 0 s square into the given function g of s. So what is g of s? This is my g of s, right? So what will happen if I multiply this expression with s square? This s square will get cancelled. Okay, after cancellation of s square and s square, replace s with 0. If you replace s with 0, 4 into 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 4, 4 by 4 is how much you are going to get? 1. Substitute over here. So you are going to get a is 14 divided by 1, which will give you 14. Now, if I apply all these three inputs at a time, my total steady state error becomes how much you are going to get? My total steady state error is sum of these individual steady state errors. That means 0 plus 14. What is the answer you are going to get, guys? 14. So this is the beauty of this question. Have you understand? So instead of solving all the three inputs at a time acting alone, what I will do is I can follow this procedure in order to make the answer very easy. Okay, I hope you understand this question. Let me move on to the next one, next beautiful question. Okay, right. So first read the question. This is forward path transfer function of a given unity feedback system, k by s into s plus 4. Now determine the value of k such that the steady state error due to unit ramp input. Okay, the steady state error due to unit ramp input is 0.1. Now, how to understand this? So first, as I said, first determine the type of the system. Can you tell me how many poles are there at origin? 1 pole. So what is the type of the system, guys? Type is 1, right? And what kind of input they have mentioned? Unit ramp. Unit ramp means we can say the input number for ramp input is how much? 1. So here the type is equal to input number. So obviously we will get finite steady state error. Whenever if there is a ramp input, what is the formula you have to use? A by kV is the formula, right? So what is the value of a here? Unit ramp input means you are going to get 1 by kV. Formula is what? Limit s tends to 0 s into g of s. What is g of s here? K divided by s into s plus 4. And if I do the simplification of this one, how much steady state error we are going to get? Already they have given this value is equal to 0.1. So how much you are going to get? 1 divided by k by 4 is equal to 0.1. So from here I can able to get the value of 4. Sorry, k, right? So from here, what is the value of k? You are going to get 40. Yes or no? Right? I am going to get the value of k as 40. So this is the way you have to solve the questions related to steady state error. So let me finish this session with one more last example, right? So this is the question. So they have given a block diagram and ask you to determine steady state error with input r of t equal to 3t square, right? So this is my g of s. By the way, what is the type of this system, guys? If you see, the type of this system is equal to how much you are going to get to. And here, if you observe clearly the input, it is not in the standard format of parabolic input. Standard format should be at square by 2. So that means you have to divide with 2 and multiply with 2. So then you are going to get 6t square divided by 2. So a becomes equal to 6. Okay, so since it is a parabolic input, input number for parabolic is 2, type is 2, you are going to get finite steady state error. So what is the formula for finite steady state error of a parabolic input? A by Ka. A value is how much, guys? 6 divided by Ka is limit s tends to 0. S square into, what is g of s, guys? Here g of s is 2 into s plus 9 divided by s square into s plus 2, right? So now what will happen? This s square will get cancelled. Replace s with 0. You are going to get 6 by 9 is the answer for this question, right? So what will happen? This s is 0, replace s with 0, 2 will get cancelled, 6 by 9. So that means you are going to get 2 by 3. Okay, 2 by 3. So this is how we need to solve the question, but 2 by 3 is wrong answer. The procedure is correct, okay? So but the answer is wrong. The answer is wrong. Why the answer is wrong for this particular question? Even though I have applied the correct formulas, I have done the same correct procedure, but the answer which we have arrived is wrong. Why? What is the reason behind why the answer is wrong for this particular question? As I said during the discussion of steady state errors, I have given one important statement that the steady state error analysis is applicable only for closed loop stable systems. Okay, so let me try to start from the first question. If you see, this is a open loop transfer function, right? Now if I am giving this as a open loop transfer function, how can we determine the comment on a closed loop stability? That is with the help of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. With the help of Routh-Hurwitz criteria, I can able to make a comment on the closed loop stability. For that, what I will do is, let me try to move this. Yes. Sorry, right. So first I will erase this stuff. So there is no need of this, right? Let me move. This is the basic procedure, right? So let me move this here over here. Yeah. So now if you are taking, okay, so let me try to see whether it is closed loop stable or unstable. What is g of s, guys? Here s plus 2 divided by 2s plus 7. Now what is the unity feedback system? H of s is anyway 1. To make a comment on closed loop stability with the help of RH criteria, we have to determine what? Characteristic equation. And what is the formula for characteristic equation, guys? 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0. Anyway, h of s is 1. So you are going to get 1 plus g of s equal to 0. If I add 1 to this given transfer function and equate with 0, what you are going to get? 2s plus 7 plus s plus 2 equal to 0, right? So here you are going to get 3s plus 9 equal to 0. So from here, this is my characteristic equation. And the roots of this characteristic equation are called as closed loop poles. If you try to see the closed loop pole, where you are going to get the closed loop pole s equal to -3, is it lies in the left hand side or right hand side? Left hand side. So it is closed loop stable or unstable? Stable. So that is the reason I can able to comfortably apply the steady state error analysis for this system. Yes or no? Right. Now let us try to move on to the next question. This is the next question, right? So first what I will do is I will try to move this somewhere here. Yeah. Now if you try to see this question, let us try to see whether it is a closed loop stable or unstable. If you try to see the characteristic equation of this one, as we know, 1 plus g of s into h of s. If you do that process, you are going to get s cube plus 4s square plus 4s plus 4 equal to 0. What in order to arrive this step, what I have done, I have added 1 to this given loop transfer function and equate with 0. If I am doing that process, you are going to arrive this one. Now, whenever if it is a third order characteristic equation, we have a shortcut method to make a directly comment on closed loop stability. So for that, the shortcut method is whenever if it is a third order characteristic equation of this form, as cube plus bs square plus cs plus d equal to 0, always check whether the product of middle element coefficients is greater than last element coefficients or not. Again, I am saying whether bc is greater than ad or not. If bc greater than ad, I can say it is closed loop stable. If bc less than ad, it is unstable. If bc equal to ad, it is marginal stable. Let us try to check whether is it satisfying this condition or not. If you see here, BC, product of middle element coefficients, should be greater than last element coefficients. So here, if you observe a product of middle element coefficients 4 into 4 is greater than 1 into 4. Is it perfectly satisfying this relation? Yes. So that means this system is also closed loop stable. But whereas if you consider the last example what we have discussed, the last example, whatever the example, let me move this first. Okay, if you observe the last example what we have discussed here, the last example is not closed loop stable, because if you try to write 1 plus g of s into h of s equal to 0, and if I try to determine the characteristic equation of this one, you are going to get s cube plus 2s square plus 2s plus 18 equal to 0. Now if you try to see whether the product of middle element coefficients is greater than last element coefficients or not, I can say 2 into 2 should be greater than 1 into 18. Is it satisfying this relation? 4 is not greater than 18. So I can say it is closed loop unstable system. For unstable systems, I cannot able to say whether my output is tracking the reference input signal during steady state period or not, because for unstable system they never reaches to steady state. Are you following what I am saying? So since it is a closed loop unstable system, the answer should be can't be determined. So in this exam, okay, the first option what they have given is 2 by 3, and finally the last option what they have given is can't be determined. So the correct answer for this one is we have to say can't be determined. So this is the point you have to understand. Okay, so this is the reason I continuously use it to give the statements that, okay, most of the engineering students, they are going to focus on what is the concept. Here, what is the concept, guys? Steady state error. How to apply the concept, okay? How to apply the concept with the help of these formulas and substitution. We know that, okay? But most of the students, they never bother about when we have to apply the concept. So this what, how and when are very, very important for engineering students to understand and to create the interest towards learning any kind of concept or any kind of subject. Okay, once if you can able to pose these three questions on yourself while preparing any concept, then definitely you won't forget that particular subject. Okay, because here the when is very, very important. Here the point when, in the sense when we have to use these formulas before applying. The conclusion is from this particular concept is, or discussion is, before applying steady state error analysis, always make sure that the closed loop system to be stable. If it is unstable, there is no point of solving this particular question with this entire procedure. Simply the answer should be can't be determined. So this is how our Veda Gate Academy faculty is going to teach from scratch level to the level where you can able to attempt any kind of competitive technical exams. Okay, all the very best. I hope you understand this concept. So in further things, okay, in the further classes, we are trying to, this is not the end of this particular concept. Okay, we will try to understand what is, how to determine the type of non-unity feedback systems, how to determine the steady state error for disturbance signals, how to determine the steady state error for non-unity feedback systems, what is the significance of type, how to improve the steady state error, and how to design the system in order to make more accurate. All these kind of interview questions we can able to explore during our online classes. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this particular concept, and all the very best. Thank you very much.